So this is the last chapter in the biology. Okay, biogeochemical cycles. Biogeochemical cycles. So in this biogeochemicals means what? The cyclic flow of the nutrients between the non-living environment and living organism is known as the biogeochemical cycle. So that means these are the nutrient enter into that non-living things to the okay. So that means non-living things to living things. So these are the nutrients are entered to the non-living things to the living things to the non-living things. These are the nutrients they can go through the cycle. So that's why these are the cycles are called biogeochemical cycles. What we are called? Biogeochemical cycle. So in the biogeochemical cycle, what are the major biogeochemical cycle? You know very well, water cycle, nitrogen cycle, carbon cycle, oxygen cycle, carbon dioxide cycle and phosphorus cycle. So these are the cycle we are studied in that biogeochemical cycle. First one, water cycle. So day by day nowadays you know very well that due to the industrialization, okay, due to the globalization, what happened? Greenhouse effect. So greenhouse effect, so the greenhouse effect is the rise in the temperature that the earth experiences. Greenhouse gases, who are the responsible for the greenhouse gases? Carbon dioxide, okay, methane, nitrous oxide, halogenated fluorocarbons, ozone and hydrofluorocarbon. These are all the responsible for the greenhouse effect. The main responsibility gas of the greenhouse effect is the carbon dioxide. Is it clear? So who are the responsible for the greenhouse effect? Carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, halogenated fluorocarbons, ozone and hydrofluorocarbons. Okay, so these are the responsible for that okay, greenhouse effect. Now shall we go to the water cycle? You know very well, okay, if you know very well, for example, you first of all in that you can take a vessel. In that vessel you can half of the vessel you can take that water and with the lid you can cover it, then you can keep in that stove, apply the heat. What happened? That water changed into the water vapor. Water vapor half an hour you can stop that, apply to that heat. After the half an hour, the water changed into the water vapor. When it is cooling, when you are remove the lid, again that water droplets are enter into that vessel. Yes or no? At the same like okay, morning when that sunlight is fall down in the oceans and seas, rivers, ponds, lakes, water changed into the water vapor. That water vapor joined into that clouds. These are the clouds. When it is cooling, again that is coming in the form of the rainwater. So this is nothing but water cycle. Another name of the water cycle is the hydrological cycle. Okay, symbol of the water is the H2O. H2O is the symbol of the water. Symbol of the water. Okay, now we can discuss about the water cycle. Is it clear? So first point, water cycle. Water covers about 71% of the total earth area. So in this, for example, okay, so this is the 100% of the earth is present. Okay, so this is the 50. So that means 25, 25, 25. Okay, so in this earth 71 percentage of the earth. So who are occupied? Water is occupied. 71. So in this remaining 29 percentage is the land. Okay. So that means 71 percentage of the total earth is the water is occupied. So the water vapor that goes up from that oceans, from the clouds. Okay. Actually water changed into the water vapor is called evaporation. In the process of the evaporation, that is joined into the cloud. So next, water vapor again changed into that water is called condensation. When that up in the atmosphere, small droplets are formed from the water vapor due to the condensation. So that means here my point is, okay, here my point is, what is my point? Okay, evaporation. So this is the water. So this is the evaporation after condensation again this is coming to that earth. Okay, again evaporation. So that means condensation means water vapor changed into the water is called evaporation as condensation. Many droplets merge to form bigger drops which fall on the earth is the rain. Okay, sometimes the drops of the get turned into the ice and fall down on the earth. These are called hail or snow. What is that? Hail or snow. Some rainwater is absorbed by the soil. The remaining water comes back to the oceans through the streams and rivers. So this cycle is repeated in the nature at the regular interval. This cycle is called water cycle or hydrological cycle. This cycle is called water cycle or hydrological cycle. You can see, so this is the groundwater. In that groundwater, in that lakes, in that ocean, water is in the presence of the sunlight. In the morning time, water changed into the water vapor. This water vapor joined into the clouds. When these clouds to become a cool, so that's why in the precipitation form, so that again formed into the rain, again into the earth. So this is known as the water cycle. Any doubt regarding water cycle? Shall we go to the another cycle? So second cycle is the nitrogen cycle. What is that? Nitrogen cycle. So what is the importance of the nitrogen? Which purpose nitrogen is required? So now coming to the point, nitrogen is the very essential part of that nitrogen cycle. In this nitrogen cycle, so you know very well, in this nitrogen, your proteins, especially everything. So living organisms are made up of cells. These are also cells are made up of proteins. These proteins, actually that nitrogen is the required for the made up of proteins. In this protein, amino acid, okay, nucleic acid, nitrogen is the major component. What is that? Proteins, amino acid, nucleic acid. What are the nucleic acid? Nucleic acids are the two types of the nucleic acids are present. One is the DNA, second one is the RNA. DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. RNA, ribonucleic acid. Most of the all the animal that genetic material is the DNA. All the animal that all the plant genetic material is the RNA. In that genetic material nucleic acid, the component is the nitrogen. Is it clear? Next, actually in the atmosphere, you know very well, oxygen is present in the 21%, nitrogen is present in that 78 percentage. Remaining all the other gases is present in the 1 percentage. Yes or no? Already we have studied in that pollution lesson. So, okay, so nitrogen contain about 78 percentage in the atmosphere. So the element of the nitrogen of air is converted into the simple molecules in the soil and water. The latter enter into the plant, then enter into the animals, forming a complex molecule which finally break down to release nitrogen back into the atmosphere is called nitrogen cycle. So that means actually nitrogen in the atmosphere is present in the N triple bond N. This is known as the molecular nitrogen. That molecular nitrogen, it is not utilized by the plants and animals in the directly. That molecular nitrogen converted into the ammonia, okay, or nitrate form, okay, nitrite or nitrate or ammonia, then plants and animals utilize it to the. So when the plants are utilized to that nitrogen, where animals are depend upon the plant, again that nitrogen is enter into the animal. When the plants and the animals are die, again that is joined into the soil or atmosphere. Now we can study. Okay? Now coming to the point. So here what are the process involved in the nitrogen cycle? First one is the biological nitrogen fixation. What is that? 4 steps are present. 4 steps are present. One is the biological nitrogen fixation. Second one is the atmospheric nitrogen fixation. Third one is the nitrogen assimilation. Fourth one is the ammonification. Fifth one is the nitrification. Sixth one is the denitrification. So these are the steps are present. How many steps are present? 6 steps. First one is the biological nitrogen fixation. Second, second one is the atmospheric nitrogen, and third one is the nitrogen assimilation, ammonification, nitrification, denitrification. Now coming to the point, first one is the biological nitrogen fixation. What is that? Biological nitrogen fixation. Actually in the atmosphere, nitrogen is present in the N triple bond N. So this is known as the molecular nitrogen. What is that? Molecular nitrogen. This molecular nitrogen utilized by the plants directly? No. When this is the breakdown, then plants are utilized. Okay, so these are directly not breakdown. So that's why here some of the bacteria, some of the blue-green algae, some of that, okay. So these are that symbiotic bacteria. These are the molecular nitrogen converted into the nitrate, NO3 minus, nitrite, NO2 minus, ammonia, okay, NH4 plus. So that means here some of the biological nitrogen fixation means a number of the free living bacteria, this molecular nitrogen N triple bond N, like Azotobacter, Clostridium, these are the free living bacteria, and Rhizobium legumineacearum, you are studied in that 8th class, leguminaceous plants, in that root nodules, okay, in that root nodules, okay, actually who are present, this plant provide to the shelter to the Rhizobium leguminaceae. This bacteria, that molecular nitrogen converted into the nitrate form or nitrite form or ammonia form, then plants are utilized to the nitrogen. So in this method, both of them beneficial to each other. So this is called symbiosis. You are studied in the 8th class. Yes or no? So this blue-green algae, like symbiotic bacteria, some of the blue-green algae take up the free atmospheric nitrogen, converted into the ammonia. This ammonia combined with the organic acid and form the amino acid. So these are the latter used to the form of a protein. Then plants are utilized to the nitrogen. Is it clear? Yeah? Next, atmospheric nitrogen fixation. Second one, what? Atmospheric nitrogen fixation. So what is the atmospheric nitrogen fixation means? In this atmospheric nitrogen fixation means, okay, so here atmospheric nitrogen is converted into the nitrogen oxide by electrical energy of the lightning of the natural ionizing. So generally when the raining is coming, generally that some of the sounds it will come, okay, nitrogen, okay, here nitrogen plus oxygen combined with the nitrous oxide, nitrous dioxide. This nitrous oxide combined with the water, okay, HNO3, nitric acid is formed. This nitric acid utilized by the plants, okay. So that is known as the atmospheric nitrogen fixation. And the atmospheric nitrogen is converted into the nitrogen oxide by the electrical energy of the lightning by the natural ionizing, okay. So radiation. Is it clear? So third point, nitrogen assimilation, assimilatory power. So these are that in that the plants absorb the nitrate ions from the medium and form the vegetable protein from them, this process. So in this method, in the biological nitrogen fixation and atmospheric nitrogen fixation, that plants are absorbed to that molecular nitrogen N triple bond N, then converted into the nitrate form or nitrite form or ammonia form, that plants are utilized. So that is called nitrogen assimilation. Okay. Next, ammonification. What is the meaning of the ammonification? Ammonification means releasing of that, the process of the decomposition of the nitrogenous waste by the purifying bacteria and fungi into ammonia. So when that plants, so decomposition, what are the waste material? They are coming from that nitrogenous waste from the living things like plants and animals. So generally these are the bacteria and fungi, they are releasing to the ammonia, that is called ammonification. Okay. So that is actually in that when that generally plants and animals are died, that when we are burnt or otherwise they are releasing excretia material, then that is ammonia is joined into the atmosphere. Next, nitrification. Next one, nitrification. So nitrification means what? Nitrification means most of the ammonium compounds are formed by the purifying bacteria and fungi, oxidized by the nitrite bacteria, Nitrosomonas and Nitrococcus. These are the soluble to the nitrate, which are further oxidized by the nitrate bacteria, Nitrobacter and Nitrocystis, and fungi Penicillium to soluble nitrate. This process of the nitrate formation is known as the nitrification, and the bacteria responsible for the nitrifying bacteria. Here nitrification means most of the ammonia compounds formed by the some of the bacteria, Nitrosomonas, Nitrococcus. So these are the soluble in the form of the nitrate. When they are oxidized, that especially these are the nitrobacter and nitrocystis and penicillium, then they are converted into the nitrate form. Then plants are utilized to this nitrate. So that is the nitrification. That is called nitrification. Denitrification. Some of the ammonium compounds, nitrites and nitrates are converted by certain bacteria, fungi into molecular nitrogen, which escape into the atmosphere, are added to the water and lost from this cycle. So this is called denitrification. Is it clear? Okay. Nitrogen cycle, first one word nitrogen fixation, second one word nitrogen, okay, atmospheric. So here this is the nitrogen cycle. In this nitrogen cycle you can see actually first one is the nitrogen fixation and second one is the atmospheric nitrogen, okay. So that means actually plants are utilized to the nitrogen, and these plants, when they are eaten to that animal, again this is joined into the protein form. Next, okay, so when the plants and animals are died, their nitrogen is released into the atmosphere. Okay, next in the some of the soil bacteria denitrification, this molecular nitrogen converted into the nitrate, in this nitrate again joined into the atmosphere. So this is about the nitrogen cycle. Is it clear? Hello? So what are the states are present? What are the steps are present in the nitrogen cycle? Biological nitrogen fixation, atmospheric nitrogen fixation, nitrogen assimilation, ammonification, nitrification, denitrification. So here you can see, so first one is this is the nitrogen cycle. This nitrogen is present here. When these are the plants are utilized in the form of the ammonia, okay. When these are the most of the animal depend upon the plant, this ammonia is enter into the animals. When these are the animals are again they are releasing to that excretia product, again that is enter into that soil. That is the next. So this ammonia again converted into the molecular nitrogen state. Okay, this molecular nitrogen state, some of the bacteria, this molecular nitrogen converted into the nitrate form. So that this is called denitrification. This nitrate again converted into that okay. So this protein form with the help of the soil bacteria, this is called nitrification. Okay, next one is the carbon cycle. What is that? Carbon cycle. So do you know carbon? So carbon cycle, in this carbon cycle, you know carbon is the basic constants of all the living organism. It is found in the most of the carbohydrate. For example, if you are every day you are eating C6H12O6, this is nothing but glucose, this is nothing but carbohydrate, this is glucose, starch, what we are eating, that is known as the carbon. So especially in that day-to-day life in our nutrients like carbohydrate, proteins and fats, that major component is the carbon. Next, already we told in that nitrogen cycle, in that DNA and RNA is also component, is the nitrogen is the component. Here also in the nucleic acid, that major component is the carbon. There are the three main reservoirs of the carbons. So first one is the atmosphere, and second one is the ocean, third one is the carbonate rocks, limestone, coal and petroleum. Okay, so you know very well what you know means. Okay, so here in the atmosphere, how much percentage of the carbon dioxide is present? 0.03 percentage is present. Yes or no? So here what we are discussing, carbon cycle. So carbon is the basic constant of all the living. Is it audible? You are there? So this carbon is the major basic constant of all the living organism. It is present in that carbohydrate, proteins, fats and nucleic acid. Okay. So there are the main reservoirs in the carbon is the atmosphere, oceans and carbonates, rocks, coal and petroleum. So in the atmosphere, carbon dioxide percentage is the 0.03 percentage is present. You know very well, photosynthesis mechanism. Green plant, they are taking to the carbon dioxide plus water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. Sunlight and chlorophyll. Okay. So they prepare their own food C6H12 O6 plus O2 plus H2O. So this is the equation for that photosynthesis equation. Okay, 6CO2 plus 12H2O gives rise sunlight and chlorophyll. C6H12O6 plus 6O2 plus 6H2O. So this is the equation for the photosynthesis. In the photosynthesis mechanism, that green plant, they can absorb to the carbon dioxide gas and they can absorb to the water. This is occurs in the presence of sunlight. It is occurs in the chloroplast of the cell. They can synthesize their own food, that is nothing but glucose, and they are releasing to the oxygen gas. So here my point is, in the photosynthesis mechanism, green plants are absorbed to the carbon dioxide gas and they can synthesize their own food and releasing to the oxygen. So if the more number of the trees are present, more absorption of the carbon dioxide. So nowadays due to the deforestation, due to the increasing of the population, due to the industrialization, due to that agriculture land is converted into that constructive land. Okay, due to the increasing of the population, so every day we are do the cutting of the trees. So if the cutting of the trees, what happened, that plants are not available, there is no absorption of the carbon dioxide gas. Due to this carbon dioxide globalization, so that greenhouse effect, that gas is the responsible for the carbon dioxide. So here carbon is present in the gaseous form in the atmosphere, which is the main reservoir, that is nothing but carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide is present in the atmosphere is the 0.03 percentage. 0.03 percentage. Okay. Photosynthesis mechanism, this carbon dioxide is absorbed by the plant. There is no photosynthesis. Who can absorb that carbon dioxide? No one absorbs the carbon dioxide. Okay. So that's why in our day-to-day life, we can decrease the pollution. Okay, increase the oxygen, growing of the trees, growing of the plants are very important. Okay, next point. So next point, the carbon in the oceans are present in the lesser quantities. So that's why this carbon dioxide in the atmosphere remain dynamic equilibrium with that oceans. So oceans plants, they are taking to that carbonate form. Okay. So the carbon enter the living system through the producer during the photosynthesis mechanism in the form of the carbohydrate and travel to the other trophic level. So we are that carbon is converted into the glucose. When the animals are eating to the plant, that carbon is enter into the animals. Okay. So when these are the plants and animals die, when the plants and animals are died, decomposition again takes place, again that carbon dioxide is released in the atmosphere, so in the hydrosphere as a carbon dioxide. So this is about the cycle of the carbon cycle. Once you can see, here see, so here what is that? This is the lithosphere, okay. So this is the ocean, okay. Fossil fuels, okay. These fossil fuels are the combustion, carbon dioxide released into the atmosphere. In this green plant, utilized to the carbon dioxide, okay. In this carbon dioxide, and they can synthesize their own food. So that's why, okay, so that means fossil fuels, when they are burnt, carbon dioxide released into the atmosphere. This released atmosphere, again plants are utilized to the photosynthesis mechanism. This photosynthesis mechanism that green plants are utilized. So all the animals are depend upon the plant. Again in the respiration, all the animals they are releasing to the, okay, carbon dioxide. The respiration process, that again they are releasing to the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Okay, this carbon dioxide again diffusion mechanism joined into the ocean. So this is about the carbon cycle. Is it clear? Okay, once I am doing a respiration, C6, C6, H12, O6 plus 6O2 gives rise 6CO2 plus 6H2O plus energy. So this is the, okay, respiration reaction. Respiration reaction. What are the end product of the photosynthesis is the, so this is the photosynthesis. What is the, this carbon dioxide water is the end product of the respiration. Respiration end product is the primary product of the photosynthesis. Photosynthesis end product is the primary product of the respiration. Okay, so that's why without the respiration there is no photosynthesis. There is no photosynthesis, there is no respiration. So that's why these are the two reactions are very important. So greenhouse effect, literally the term greenhouse is given to a glass house constructed to keep the delicate and rare plant that required warmth and protection to the, from the weather. The house is constructed by the panel of glass which allows sun rays and heat to pass into the glass house. The heat that enter the glass house cannot escape out because the glass panel radiate back the heat to the inside the glass house. This makes the glass house warmer than the outer side environment. So this phenomena is known as the greenhouse effect. This phenomena is known as the greenhouse effect. Okay. So these are the similar phenomena occur on the earth too. When the heat is not allowed to the radiate back into the space, carbon dioxide act transparent gas incoming short wave radiation from the sun. It however does not allow the long wave radiation radiated by the earth to the escape into the space, therefore causing of the warming of the lower portion of the atmosphere. This phenomena is sufficient to raise the planetary surface temperature by the 32 degrees above that which would otherwise occur. In fact, that greenhouse, okay, effect is the essential for the survival of the organism living on the earth. This basic essential greenhouse effect has been there by millions of the years without any change. However, under the present scenario, there is a clear indication that increasing of the carbon dioxide level and some other greenhouse gases like water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, halogenated fluorocarbon and ozone, okay, fluorocarbons and hydrocarbons would raise the temperature of the surface of the environment, leading to the enhanced greenhouse effect. So that is nothing but global warming. So day by day that population is, day by day the temperature is increasing because of this reason. Okay, next class we will discuss about the oxygen cycle. Again we have that Thursday have the I am taking to the class, okay, and Friday is the do the revision. Saturday we have the grand test. Is it okay? Maths 20, physics 10, chemistry 10, biology 10. So biology Thursday I will take remaining oxygen cycle, okay, next carbon dioxide cycle, next phosphorus cycle. These we can discuss. Then Friday again normal revision, okay, next Saturday we have the exam. Is it okay? Okay. So thank you. Have a great day.